City News is brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.
Good evening, Rotorua. Tonight on City News. Hundreds of concerned locals marched on Saturday to show their opposition to the sale of so-called legal highs. Hospice collectors hit the streets tomorrow to raise funds for the local service. And Boys High student Jack Potaka wins a trip to Gallipoli after taking top honours in a national Anzac speech competition. Hundreds of concerned locals marched on Saturday to show their opposition to the sale of so-called legal highs in Rotorua.
We want you to change the law.
Organiser Mariah Pomana was pleased with the turnout.
I was hoping for about 400 people, and I'm so excited that Rotorua has risen up against synthetic cannabis. We want it absolutely gone. We just want it fully banned. I don't care what shops, who sells it, whatever. I just want it fully gone, and I want it gone now. I'm just tired of it, yeah.
Meanwhile, local MP Todd McClay says he's committed to ridding the streets of the legal highs.
There has been significant reductions in harm around the country. In Rotorua there were 20 or 30 stores, today there are 4. There were up to 300 products available, today there are only 40. That's not good enough for me. Every day I look for more ways to reduce harm and to find an effective ban to get this muck out of our communities.
St John Appeal Week kicked off today with fundraising activities taking place around New Zealand. Local manager Hilary Morrish-Allen says Appeal Week is very important to help with extra costs stations have.
We have our Appeal Week, which is in April, where members of the public can donate. You'll see us on the street and those kind of things. Any bequests that people would like to leave us in their will are gratefully received. Any major donations are fantastic to us. They pay for a lot of our equipment, like our ambulances and our defibrillators, the key elements that we need, and they ensure that we can continue to deliver the level of service that we do.
I can imagine the equipment that you mentioned, the defibrillator and the ambulances, that's some serious coin, isn't it?
Yes, but every little bit helps. I mean, if you can give us $5, that helps towards a whole series of things that we need. If you can give us $250,000, fantastic. We can have a new ambulance. Thank you very much.
And collectors will be on the street tomorrow collecting for hospice. Organiser Jan Morgan says money collected here stays here to help support non-funded hospice work.
We've got 700,000 shortfall in funding, so last year we raised just under 5,000, so let's hope the public are going to be really generous once again and we can raise that amount of money.
Labor Party MP Jacinda Ardern led a delegation of fellow Labor MPs keen on feedback about the party's Best Start policy. Ms Ardern says there are 3 main areas the policy targets.
First is extra financial support for families when they first have a baby. We know it's a really expensive time of life. It's also the most critical in terms of a child's development. So we're going to extend paid parental leave from 14 to 26 weeks and also introduce a Best Start payment, because roughly 60% of families aren't eligible for paid parental leave, and so for those families they'll get a $60 a week payment for the first year of their child's life, and for lower modest income earners that payment keeps going until their child turns 3 years of age. Then we've got the education elements, because of course at 3 things start changing. It's a little easier to have the little ones in early childhood education, and so we've extended the 3 hours from 20 hours to 25, which will make a big difference for a lot of families. And then we've done some extra things around health, like free antenatal classes, 10-week maternal health checks, and also making sure Plunkett has a bit more resource to do more visits for families who need it most.
Rotorua Boys High School student Jack Potaka has taken top honours in the national final of the ANZ RSA Cyril Bassett VC speech competition, winning a trip to Gallipoli to attend Anzac Day commemorations. The 16-year-old student impressed the judges with a passionate speech about the first fully qualified Māori pilot in the RNZAF, Porokuru Patapu John Pohe. In sport tonight, Chiefs co-captain and first 5/8 Aaron Cruden has broken his left thumb and is expected to be out of the Investec Super Rugby for 6 to 8 weeks. The injury occurred during the Chiefs' 43-all draw against the Cheetahs in Bloemfontein on Sunday morning. To your weather update now. Tonight, fine spells with odd showers, southerlies, an overnight low of 16. For tomorrow, Tuesday, sunny spells, southwesterlies, a high of 22 and a low of 15. And the outlook for Wednesday, cloudy periods with the chance of an afternoon shower, light winds, a high of 21 and a low of 13. And the marine weather for Tuesday, southerly 15 knots turning southeast in the morning with waves less than half a metre, and there'll be sunny spells. Coming up after the break, we meet Conservation Department Community Ranger Caroline Abbott. We find out about issues faced by a local migrant in this month's Neighbour in Our Community, and we cover the recent National Secondary Schools Waka Ama competition held at Lake Tikatapu.
Well, 6 months ago, the Department of Conservation had a massive restructuring, and here in Rotorua, they created a brand new team for partnering about conservation projects. And with me today is Caroline Abbott. Now, you're the brand new Conservation Partnership Ranger.
Yes.
Not manager, Ranger.
Ranger. There's a few of us. There's 3 of us, with 2 more to come later in the year. So as part of the restructure, we now have this partnerships team in Rotorua. We're looking to develop partnerships that support conservation with iwi businesses and the wider community. DOC's vision is that New Zealand is the greatest space on earth, and we need help to do it. You know, we're very fortunate in Rotorua that we've got some great care groups, and we really want to support them and let them know that their work in the community is valued and offer them assistance where we can.
So within this new team, Caroline, how many partnership rangers are there?
Currently we've got 4, with 2 more to be recruited later in the year.
So it sounds like you guys have got a big job, especially if you've got to do all the consultating with all the different, organisations in town.
Yep, it's a big job, but we're looking forward to the new way and a strategic way of thinking to benefit conservation. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, now, as I mentioned right at the start of the story, this restructuring is right throughout the whole country. So apart from this new partnerships team, what else is happening here at DOC in Rotorua?
Okay, so we've got lots of trails, mountain biking trails, walking trails that are being developed, and we're having an active role in maintaining some tracks. Conservation efforts regarding our care groups are ongoing. We've got some excellent work going out in Kaharoa with the Kokako Trust. They're doing some great work. Really can't sing the praises of our care groups enough. They're doing some excellent work.
And most of them are volunteer, aren't they?
Definitely, yeah, and really valued.
So what sort of things are you guys been doing with regards to looking after the waterways here in Rotorua?
Okay, so next week actually we've got, it's called Hands on Water. It's been organised by the Regional Council and it's targeted to school-aged children, years 4 to 10. And we're aiming to give them hands-on skills that they can take back to their community with regards to water conservation and water quality. So it's something I'm really excited in. I'm really passionate about education, and it's great to be working with some younger members of the community.
Well, I guess the important thing about it, if you're teaching these kids, then they'll take it back home and teach mum and dad.
Exactly. So I'm personally representing DOC, and we're going to be enforcing the check, clean, dry message. So just advocating that people should check, clean and dry their equipment between waterways to avoid the spread of pest fish.
Yeah, I think that's important, especially here. People love to go fishing here in Rotorua.
We do, and the impact that these pest fish could have on our recreational activities are, really high. It's a really big concern for us. We're currently pest-free, and we want to keep it that way.
How are you going to get the message to them? Are you going to go out to the schools?
So it's held in Paengaroa, and there's over 200 children coming from different schools. So they'll arrive on site, and there'll be lots of different presentations from various organisations, all putting their message across about how we can work together to support conservation regarding our waterways.
Yeah. So again, it's all about just teaching those kids, eh?
Yeah, valuable hands-on messages that they can really interact with people and take home some valuable messages.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, there was a fire at Lake Tarawera just recently, and but you're involved in that because it was on DOC land.
Yes, it was. So it was in the Tarawera outlet area, and a local tour guide operator, David Walmsley, we were very fortunate that he noticed some smoke and he diverted his tour to go and have a look. He'd noticed that a fire had taken hold, and him and the tourists on board created a chain and passed buckets of water up to try and douse the flames. The volunteer fire brigades arrived, and it was really fortunate that they did, because it could have been a lot worse. Doc were able to take an aerial assessment of the area. Fortunately, the damage wasn't too severe. We don't generally encourage that people light campfires in the Rotorua area, and there is a restricted fire ban in place at the moment, so if you have any questions regarding that, just contact the DOC office.
So how long is this fire ban going to be in place, Carolyn?
So we're currently on a restricted fire ban until the end of April. Usually the area has around 111 millimetres of rain for March on average. Currently we've had 0.2. So
that's not good, is it?
No,
the
and
farmers won't be liking that either.
No, and of course the wind exacerbates the problem. If you have any concerns, just give us a call. We'll be happy to help you and try and find some solutions.
Cool. Now, before we finish up, Caroline, now obviously you're new to the role,
Yes.
but you're not from New Zealand, are you?
No, I'm a POM. I came here 6 years ago. I was really drawn to New Zealand. You've got some fantastic flora and fauna, some great recreational opportunities, and the general Kiwi spirit is just great. So I've now been here for 6 years, and I really enjoy my time here, and I'm excited to be involved in conservation. I think it's a really important asset to New Zealand, and as DOC's strategy claims, we want New Zealand to be the best place on earth, and I think we're getting there.
Pretty close.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
All right, Caroline, I appreciate your time, and I'm sure we'll catch up again because
Definitely.
we do lots of stuff for you guys. So
Yes.
see you again. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you.
Well, if you've got an interest in Taiwanese culture or even Chinese culture, we have an interesting story for you today. My guest immigrated to New Zealand from Taiwan over 20 years ago, and she's going to be sharing her experiences at the very first Neighbours in Our Community hosted by Settlement Support here at the RDC. And Waitu Wu, thanks for joining us today. Now, obviously you've come all the way from Taiwan to live here in New Zealand.
Yes.
What's the transition been like? Have you settled into New Zealand life?
Yes, I have. I've migrated to New Zealand for 23 years.
Oh, you're almost a local.
Well, just about. Start picking up all the Kiwi slang. Yes, so half Kiwi, we'll say.
Was it sad to leave your home country?
Not really. I always like to traveling around the world. Before I come to New Zealand, I actually studied 5 years in Japan.
Wow.
Yes.
So you speak
so
Japanese as well?
Traveled. Yes.
Yeah?
Well, sort of. Still, if I remember. I haven't practiced for a while.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. O genki desu ka?
And obviously you can speak Mandarin as well.
Yes, that's my native language, my
Ni hao.
first language. Ni hao.
I can say hello in 3 languages, so
Oh, right.
you can obviously do more than 3.
Oh, I'm learning Maori.
As well?
Te reo Maori now.
Kia ora.
Tēnā koe. Tēnā koe. Yes, getting there. I only been to third lesson tonight, so.
So you've embraced New Zealand culture living here now?
I have. Yes, and I love it.
Yeah. Now you get to share your experiences of becoming a migrant and coming to New Zealand at Settlement Support and Neighbours in Our Community. Now, is that quite scary for you? Are you a good public speaker?
I think I am, and but you do need courage to do so, especially for majority of migrants. We are shy about our English because we are not first speaking person, and depends on which country you come from, we actually learn in different countries English. See, like in Taiwan, where I originally come from, we learn American English. So when I migrate to New Zealand, I actually struggle a lot because you pronounce differently. Like potato, tomato, and I have to change it all. So sometimes I get lost. So that is the first thing I have to overcome. Like, don't be shy to say something wrong, because if you don't say the wrong, you will never know it's wrong.
Yeah.
So it's better you correct and you practice, you correct and practice.
It's a good ethos, I like that. So what sort of things will you be talking about at the Neighbours in the Community?
We will be talking about Taiwan culture, that people in New Zealand, local, know about Taiwan's culture a bit better from somebody actually growing up from there. And we're also going to have some demonstration of the tea taste,
Nice.
a Taiwanese tea tasting.
Now,
So that'll be
Graham,
nice.
our cameraman, and myself, we don't mind a cup of tea and a coffee every now and then. So what sort of tea is it? What's so different about it?
The Taiwanese tea is a whole leaves tea. It's not in powders. It's different concept. Like when you're talking about tea, you saw that will be grinded into powder and in a bag.
Yeah.
But Taiwanese tea is a whole leaves, and then when that go into the hot water, they actually bring out a special flavor and smell really nice. You can smell it as well.
Yeah, and it tastes pretty good.
Tastes a little bit bitter when you taste it, but once you got into your throat, they actually stay that sweetness. I don't know how do you describe it. You know, it's a special taste in your throat. So that is what the essence of it.
Now, when you come over here, and obviously you brought over your culture, have you been able to share your culture with people here in Rotorua?
Yes. I've been looking after some newcomers who cannot speak English well. And especially I am the volunteer of the Citizen Advice Bureau. I've been helping them out if they have some questions or they don't know what to do. When they migrate to here, they may have visa problem or job problem, and I'll help them.
Yeah, and you enjoy that?
Yes, I am.
Now, we first met at the Multicultural Festival that was held last year, and you had a tent there for Chinese in China.
Yes.
Yeah. So, how different is Chinese and China and Taiwan?
Oh, we all related same ancestors, but because of political change, and the leaders took part of each country. So that's why we become separated. Otherwise, we are all the same. We all Chinese, really.
Yeah, and you obviously speak the same language, Mandarin.
Yes, we are. Yeah, it's our official language as well.
Now, obviously, like you said, you volunteer at Citizens Advice Bureau. But do you have a normal job?
Yes, I do have a part-time job. I work in a bakery called Gold Star Bakery. Opposite the library, we make most delicious individual pie and the most famous in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Yes,
A little
it's
bit
very
of Taiwanese
popular.
flavour in there?
Oh, no. It's a purely European flavor.
Yeah.
Because Chinese, we don't favor pie, actually. So it's purely European food.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, we're almost out of time, Waitu, but all the best with your speaking tomorrow at the community, neighbours in our community. I'm sure you'll do really well and be well received.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you for your time, too.
Well, near perfect conditions out here at Lake Tikitapu for the active post Wakaama National Secondary Schools competition. So we're going to head down and get straight into the racing and have a look around. Kia ora, Kelly, thanks for joining us today. Now, we've just had a look around here. There's almost thousands of students out here, but how many are there altogether?
Yeah, there's just over 1,500 paddlers here today.
Wow, that's huge, eh? Now, is that bigger than last year?
Very. Yep, much bigger than last year. New schools. So we're looking around about 96 schools this year.
Now, when you say new schools, is there schools from the South Island?
There is. We have Shillue Boys, High School from Christchurch this year, as well as Tahiti, international team, College Te Paupau is their name.
So we've got teams from overseas, that's fantastic.
Aye, absolutely.
So what sort of categories are there, Kelly?
So they have W1 category, they have a W12 mixed, which is both half boys, half girls, and that will be 12 paddlers in a crew. They have a W6, boys and girls crews, which 6 paddlers in a waka.
Yeah, so it's a mixed crew?
No, the mixed is only for the W12. Yeah.
Now what's the difference between W1s and W12s?
So W1 means 1 paddler, W12 means 12 paddlers.
Now you guys are out here for 4 days, are you hoping for good weather?
Yeah, we're going to have good weather. Wind guru says it's not going to be too windy, which the paddlers are going to love. The sun's out, and the news is saying basically that the weather's going to be really good.
The logistics for this event must be massive, because you just have a look around here. There's thousands of people, thousands of students and spectators, tents from all around the country, so it must be a big job to put this together.
Yes, it is. We the week after we end this event, we start planning for the following year. So it is a huge event, and one of the things we'll be looking at, as you can see, the banks are packed, so it's just getting bigger and bigger. So eventually this may not be the right spot for it, unfortunately, just due to the size.
Yeah. Now last year the lake was a little bit higher. Does that contribute to the racing?
Yes, a lot. So the waterway is further out, makes the racing for crews a little harder because it gets a little shallower for the ones in lane 1, which tends to be the fastest place getters. And so, it has gone a little bit further, and it's a little bit harder on the guys setting the lanes as well.
Yeah. Now obviously these boats are sponsored, but how many are there here today?
We have Te Wānanga o Aotearoa have kindly sponsored all of the waka. There's 18 waka they've provided for us today, so over this week. So it's been absolutely awesome, and as you can see, they're beautiful and in great condition. So we're using our volunteers to look after them really well, so that we can give them back in the same condition they gave to us.
What do you think it is about Wakama that these kids love so much?
I think the atmosphere, the ahua of paddling is always beautiful, the wairua of the people, you have the young to the old, and it's just a really inclusive sport.
At the end of the 4 days, Kelly, is there going to be a celebration and a prize giving for everybody to get together and celebrate the winners?
Yeah, there is. We try and do a bit of prize giving every day. If we saved it all for the last day, we'd be here till midnight. So tomorrow are the championships for all the W6 racing. They've done the W1s and W12 prize giving already.
Yep. Is there any sponsors out there that have been really helpful in helping you guys get this event together? Te
Wānanga o Aotearoa, they've definitely been a big help. Events Rotorua have come on board this year, so this is their first year with us, so that's been a great relationship, so we're going to work really hard to keep that. Te Wairekipuria Trust, of course, have been doing this now for the last, I think we started back in 2005 originally with this event, and due to the size we've moved from lake to lake, and so we've been here, this is year 4 for us. Awesome. And next year potentially will be possibly our last year, I think.
Good stuff. Nice one, Kelly. Appreciate your time. Kia ora.
Bye. Kia ora.
Another great sporting event there hosted in our city, and Te Wairekipuria Trust have the rights for another 2 years to host the secondary school's national waka-ama competition. If you have any news to share, give the station a call on 07 3488 984 or email news@tbrotorua.co.nz. Or you can visit our website to catch up on City News. Just click Latest News. Thanks for watching tonight. From all the team here at City News, for Maria.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
City News was brought to you by East Brewster Lawyers Rotorua, celebrating 100 years of legal excellence and innovation.